left. Okay, but USSR. The USSR, okay, and the United States of America. You see that a lot of countries don't have identity in Africa. A lot of them are still colonies. They're not independent. Not all of them, but some of them. Okay? What else changed? Okay? Now, the map is this. Countries that painted in green voted yes for the birth of a Jewish state in this territory.
Australia.
Green.
Australia.
Now, something very interesting. The USSR of Joseph Stalin and United States of America of Truman, at that time, both of them voting yes. Why it's so strange? 1947, 3 years before Korea War, okay? In the 60s started the Vietnam War. This is the time of the Cold War. This is two enemies that voting yes for the same thing. They both had interest. First of all, Stalin hated the British Empire. Okay, he hated them, and he knew the British wanted to stay. So he said, let's vote that the British need to leave, first of all. Secondly, he had reasons to believe, okay, that Israel will be a communist state. There will be communist movement here in the beginning, yeah. Ben-Gurion, his party, was socialist, not communist. But there was a communist movement. You heard about kibbutz? Okay, there was settlements here of communist residents. So Stalin said, listen, maybe it's another communist state in the world. According to our agenda, it's good. Truman wanted to block the communism, okay? And also he had his own interest. Countries that painted in red voted no. Red voted no. To make you understand how things have changed, see that one of the countries is India. The country of Mahatma Gandhi and Buddha. Now today, Israel and India are really, really close friends. Really close friends. We're doing a lot of cooperation together. Weapons, security, economics, science, technology, education. Wherever you name it, we're doing together with them. Agriculture, with India. So no hard feelings, they voted no. Okay, this map doesn't mean a lot. It means, but it doesn't mean that somebody voted yes, we're friends, and somebody voted no, we're not friends. Countries that painted in yellow are abstained. China was abstained, Ethiopia was abstained, England, British, this is a British Empire territory at that time. And, okay, after they voted this, 33 said yes, 13 voted no, 10 was abstained. This is the result for birth of a Jewish state in this territory. Now they're publishing this map. I don't know if you ever saw that map. This map, you have it in a lot of history books. It's called the Map of Partition. This is what the United Nations is publishing. Now, 40 seconds of quick history of the Middle East, okay, in 40 seconds. Look, all of this territory, until the First World War, you're taking time? First World War, I'm a liar, so. First World War, until the First World War since the 16th century, this is Ottoman Empire. Huge, fascinating empire that had borders in Austria, in Vienna, and ended in Iraq. Hard to imagine, but this was an empire. Ottoman Empire, based in Turkey, but most of the Middle East was there. During the 19th century, this Ottoman Empire started to become very weak. All kinds of reasons, and the European nations started to know that this Ottoman Empire is going to die soon. It's going to collapse. And after the First World War, it collapsed. During the First World War, in 1916, this is an important date, Britain and France signed an agreement called Sykes-Picot. Sykes-Picot Agreement, they split in the Middle East, they split in the territories of the Ottoman Empire between them. Two empires, France and Britain. What today you know as the state of Lebanon and Syria was French territories. What today you know as Israel, Kingdom of Jordan, Iraq, Saudi Arabia and Egypt was Britain. Here in the north you can see it, but Morocco and Algeria was France. Okay, they split the territories between both of them. By a very interesting historical process, this empire themselves started to lose these territories also. Okay, in 1947, 1948, Britain lost Pakistan and India. Okay, they started to lose their own territories. So in 29th of November 1947, they already have a state named Lebanon, a free independent country from France. They also have Syria, a free independent country from France. Kingdom of Jordan, according to Mahmoud Hussein Agreement, is independence. Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. We have this country. Most of them, I think maybe all of them, has kings at that time. They're all kingdoms. Okay, in Iraq, before there was a revolution, Assad, his father did a revolution against the king. Okay, it was kingdom. They were kings. So, but it is independent state, newborn state. Okay, 2, 3, 4-year-old state, but they're newborn independent. Now this territory came. The British go into the United Nations and tell them, listen, there is a problem in this land, tell us what to do. We don't want to take a decision. Okay, we know today that they want actually that people ask them to stay. The United Nations told them, listen, you need to stay and fix it up. But the United Nations told them, listen, we're doing a vote. What the solution will be is this. There will be two newborn countries in the world. One Jewish country, you name it whatever you name it, there is no name Israel then yet. And one Arab country, you don't name it all also. Okay? Place for Arab, place for Jews, and look here in the middle, we have white color. Can you recognize the cities? Jerusalem and, I'm always forgetting how to say it in English. Bethlehem? Whatever you said, I believe. Okay, Bethlehem. Because in Hebrew we say Bethlehem, but in English you don't have ch, so. Okay. In the beginning I said Bethlehem, and people were like, what kind of city? Okay, so Bethlehem. Whatever you said, I believe you said it very well. Okay, so the city and Jerusalem, both of them supposed to be international zones. Now this is a geographical map. People look at it and say, wait a minute, what the United Nations? What if a Jewish person, okay, the blue color is supposed to be Jewish, the salmon is supposed to be Arab, and here in the middle you have to be international. So people say, okay, if it works, like a Jewish family that lives here, I can go out there, you can go here. What, they need to cross the border? No. According to the United Nations, the plan, there were bridges and tunnels, it's supposed to be connected. Okay, and also the Arab state, okay, they don't need to cross, it's not like 3 states in one state, you understand? It's one Arab state, one Jewish state, in the middle of it there is an international zone guarded by the United Nations. Nobody can say that Jerusalem and Bethlehem, or wherever you say it is, can say that it is, that is its own. No, it's the world cities. Now people ask, okay, wait a minute, just like how can pilgrims from Europe or America, or people that want to go to Jerusalem, not from this territory, how they can go? They need to cross 2 countries. Yes, they need to cross 2 countries. But supposed to be international roads. This was the plan of the United Nations. The United Nations publishing this map quick after the vote, 29th of November, 1947. Ben-Gurion, the head of the Zionist movement, looking at this and they tell him, okay, look, there will be birth of a Jewish state, and it will be here. You see that most of the Jewish state is in the desert, right? Negev, what you have in America, the Sonora or Moab or Nevada. Beautiful places, but not easy place to live, right? It's very hot and dry. And the Arab state will be here, and this will be internationalism. What do you think Ben-Gurion is saying? Yes? No? What the hell is this?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, he said that.
No? Look at this, 29th of November 1947. Okay. Ben-Gurion, as most of you said, he said yes. And I will explain why. First of all, there were people in the Zionist movement that told him not to get it. Things are not black and white, never in life, okay? People told him, listen, like, this is ridiculous. How can you live in this country and how can we defend ourselves? And what about Jerusalem and everything? But then we told him, listen guys, I'm sorry, but after 2,000 years, for the first time the United Nations recognized a Jewish state in this territory. This is a historical moment, I cannot say no. First of all. Secondly, we have tons of refugees in Europe after the Holocaust. Thousands of refugees start to become refugees in Arab countries, start to be unsafe. There is no Jewish country in the world at that time. No, there isn't. Jews living in Australia and America and Europe, everywhere. Okay, someplace good life, sometimes bad life, but there is no independent Jewish state. No. So, I cannot say no, please, I'm sorry. We don't have nothing. If we have nothing, I cannot say no. And Ben-Gurion spoke with the Zionist movement, and in the end they went to the United Nations after several hours and told them, okay, we accept this. Okay, we'll take it. You know the writer Amos Oz? He has a book translation into English. It's called A Story on Life and Darkness. Story on Life and Darkness. It's a good book, and in that book he says his memories as a young boy in Jerusalem, and he's telling the story how he and his father celebrated this man. We have movies and pictures and reporters of all kinds of magazines telling this was a celebration. And people celebrated this because after 2,000 years, for the first time in history, there is a Jewish country. There is. It's a fact. The United Nations told that. Okay, this is the historical moment. Okay, as I told you, things are not black and white. And in the Arab leadership, there were voices that said maybe we should take it, but the majority unfortunately said no. Okay? They said no. There was also a map of partition before that. In Phil, if you heard about this, in 1937, the British themselves, not the United Nations, said, okay, this will be a British territory, this will be a Jewish territory, and this will be Arab territory. And they rejected it. So, okay, things are not black and white, but they said, okay, no, we don't accept this. We went to the United Nations, told them, I'm sorry, okay, we cannot accept a Jewish state, this will be international, we want Jerusalem, okay. And unfortunately, on 30th November 1947, the day after the publish of this map, one day after this, started to be clashes. The British are still here. I'm so excited from you, so okay, the British are still here. This is a British territory. So there is clashes while the British is here in the middle. The British trying to survive. Sometimes they help in the Jews, sometimes they help in the Arabs. They try to help themselves a lot. Okay? So I'm not blaming them, it was part of Britain. But they have a date that they're leaving. You know what date it is? 15 in May 1948. If today you look at the calendar of Israel's birthday, it's the 14 in May 1948, the day before. Why? Why a day before? What happened in the 15 in May? War, you're correct, but what is the 15 in May? It's Shabbat. Saturday, the British is living in Shabbat. Ben Gurion, as a secular, is opening the calendar and said, wait a minute, guys, the British Empire is going in Shabbat. He's a secular person. He's not religious at all. But he's saying, you know there is a saying that says more than the Jewish people kept the Shabbat kept the Jewish people. Okay, so he said, okay, the Shabbat is a cultural symbol. It's not only religious. It's also a cultural symbol. So what they say, okay, is that it's, listen, I'm sorry. Okay, sometimes people talk about listening to themselves. Okay, so, like me, right there. Okay, so, they say this. The Shabbat is an important day. We're not going to declare a Jewish country in Shabbat, so we're going to declare it in Friday, 14 in May 1948. Okay? But remember, 13 in May 1947, we have clashes in this territory alone, only here. The borders are quiet. But when they published the date, 15 in May 1948, these countries, governments, kingdom, saying to these Arabs here, okay, wait for us. 15 in May 1948, we're coming. Not all of them. Jordan didn't say that. Jordan is a different story, we're going to tell it later. Okay? But most of them said to them, okay, now it's a British territory, we cannot attack. If we're attacking this territory, it's like we're attacking London. And there will be a war. There will be a war with the British territories. Okay, we'll wait. Officially it's ending in 15 May. Officially in 15 May it's not British territory. We're going to come in 15 May. 6 months from now. So people here have the time to prepare and to get weapons and to buy weapons and to get people that know how to operate weapons. There were time to prepare. It's not a war, it's a surprise. Like I'm telling you now, 6 months from now, your country is going to be in a big war. So you have time. It's a long time, 6 months. But these countries still doesn't war with Israel. Okay, so the clashes is here. Now, okay, everything is clear until then? Okay? So, continuing the story, okay, 6 months is moving, and, okay, at that time, Ben-Gurion decided to declare it here in this room. Now when you understand that Israel was declared inside of the war, now can you look at the room and understand why they choose it? Where we're sitting, how does this room look like? It's a bunker. We now sit in a bomb shelter. It's not a joke. Okay? We went underground, there is emergency exit, small windows, okay? Thick walls, emergency exit. So if I'm warning you, you can run away really fast, it still works. I checked it out. So look at this. This is it. They checked this. If you read the history of Tel Aviv in 1948, there were much bigger and fancier halls than this. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, but this room is not so pretty. Okay? What can you do? But they choose this place because this was a bomb shelter. They said, listen, we need a safe place. We cannot declare everywhere, wherever we want. First of all, we won't declare in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is international. And Jerusalem at that time is under siege. 11 people that were invited to the ceremony here couldn't make it. They were stuck in Jerusalem. This is the invitation to the ceremony. It's not the original size. The original size is a small paper in an envelope. But this is a replica. Look at the date. 13 in May 1948, a day before they published this invitation. A day before. When my sister got married, she published her invitation 4 years before the wedding. The husband didn't know they're going to get married and the invitation were already. So, okay. So a day before, how everything was in the last moment. I trust into you this text. Dear sir, dear miss, we're happy to invite you to the Declaration of Independence. It will be on Friday, 14 in May 1948, 4 o'clock in the museum, Rothschild Boulevard 16. We keep people to keep this place in secret. And please come on time. It's important in Israel, as you see. Okay? 350 people got this. First of all, something is missing in the text. We have the address, we have the time, we have from who sent it, and the people get it personal because it's a private invitation. What is missing?
Logo?
Excuse me?
The logo, like who it's from?
No, it says Minhel Tam. It's like the temporarily Knesset. The temporarily parliament, they call themselves. Anything they are translated into English.
Who sent the location?
Location for Rothschild Boulevard 16, Tel Aviv Art Museum.
Signature?
Signatures you have. What is missing is the name of the state. They don't mention the name State of Israel. Welcome to the independence of State of Israel. Why? Why do they mention the name Israel? 13 in May 1948, they still didn't know it's going to be called State of Israel. Before this meeting, Ben-Gurion said, okay, we need to find a name, guys. They argued on so many things. They told them, we need to call a name to this newborn country. Several suggestions came up, not only Israel. Judea, Yehuda, Ivriya, Hebrew, Canaan. You read the Bible, Abraham and Canaan? Canaan, Canaan. Zion, Zion, and State of Israel. State of Israel was chosen, but this was almost Judea, or Ivriya, or Zion. Another name. Everything was in the last moment. 350 Israelis got this invitation and supposed to keep it in secret. Now, what do you think happened? Let me show you a picture. Let me show you a picture. Original picture, okay? Ben-Gurion is coming. This is what he's seeing outside of the museum. All of Tel Aviv standing outside waiting for him. Benjamin Franklin, one of the founders of the US, said once that for 3 people to keep a secret, 2 of them have to die. Okay? Now here in Israel, it's the 3 of them. Okay? All of them need to die because people cannot shut up, and look what is a mess. The cars couldn't move in the road there, like Ben-Gurion is coming like, how the hell everybody knows? Now they knew they're doing history, so they invited 8 photographers and 1 company to record it, to broadcast this ceremony in the radio. So the location is supposed to be secret, but the message is supposed to be for everybody. The State of Israel was born. The guy of this company was very smart. He told them, listen, I will come to record for free, but I want the name of my company here. Now we're looking at the first commercial in the history of Israel. It's a name of a company, it's legal. Company of recording. Okay? Ben-Gurion is coming, he's in shock. How everybody knows, but what can he do? So in the last moment, he's coming, his wife going to sit there, he's going to the stage, and he started to read. He's reading this. This text is the Independence Declaration of Israel. Okay, Israel still don't have a constitution, I don't know if you know that. So this is the most important legal document in the history parliament. In the Israeli parliament, not history. Okay? This is our base of constitution. Now he's reading this for 17 minutes. How long the ceremony was? Since the moment he got out to the moment he got in. The moment he got in to the moment he got out. How long it took him to declare a country? 1 hour? 3 hours? 4? 32 minutes. What's the rush? What's the rush? We're on Friday, the Shabbat's supposed to enter. And more than the Shabbat, people sitting here, they know a big war, 8 hours from a big war. It's not a secret war. They get information. Now here said a woman that I hope you all heard about her. Golda Meir. After that, in the 70s, she became the prime minister. She resigned after the Yom Kippur War. But she's sitting here, and I'm telling you about her because she went to a very interesting meeting. Not a lot of people know that. Some people know that before Yom Kippur War, that was a surprise war for the State of Israel. The king of Jordan, Hussein, came here to Israel, disguised, and warned Golda Meir as a prime minister, told him, listen, I have information that they're going to surprise you in a war. They're preparing for a war. Okay, it's very interesting to read. Yom Kippur, 1973. Not a lot of people know that this woman, when she was young, met his grandfather, King Abdallah. The Zionist movement sent her, tried to convince him not to get inside the war. Today, Israel and Jordan have a peace agreement. We're doing cooperation together in a lot of fields. But at that time, we're supposed to be enemies. But they tried to convince him, don't get inside the war. The first meeting, he told her, you know what, no, I don't want war. Like, it's not my business now, and I want to establish my new kingdom, and I'm not going to do the war. The second time she met him, before the ceremony, he told her, I want you to come again. And he told her, listen, Golda, I promised you as a man, as a king, and as a Bedouin. You know what Bedouin are? It's the nomads of the desert. He's a Bedouin. The Hashemi kingdom is a Bedouin kings. He told her, I promised you all this, not to get inside the war, but I'm sorry, I'm taking it back. Because look at the political situation. First of all, remember that a lot of these Arab countries are in conflict between themselves. Syria sees Lebanon as part of them. Until 2005, there was Syrian army inside Lebanon. They seen that Lebanon is part of Syria, that the French took from them. Okay? There is tension between the Hashemi kingdom and Syria. Tension between the Hashemi kingdom and Egypt. He got information that the king of Egypt wanted to conquer Jerusalem. He said, no way I'm going to give him Jerusalem. I want Jerusalem for myself. If somebody's taking it, it's me. I'm the closest. First of all. Secondly, he told her, listen, the political situation is this. They're all going to fight you. If I'm not going to fight, they're going to fight me. You need to understand me. I'm sorry, but this is it. And they got inside the war. So when people sitting here, Ben-Gurion knows that a country that's supposed to not to get inside the war, it's a terrible mess because this is the border with Jordan. They thought it won't be a war here. Now they know. And Jordan have a very good, until today, very good developed army. Western army. Okay, very well equipped. It's a British army. So, that's it. They come in here. There was a lot of diplomatic pressure on Ben-Gurion not to declare. They told him, listen, there is a chance you're not going to survive in this war. If you're not going to survive, nobody will come to you. You need to understand what you're doing. But he told them, guys, this is now or never. I'm sorry. Some people told him, don't declare. Don't declare. But he said, no. This is now or never. I don't know when I get the second chance. So 17 minutes, he's reading this. After that, he signs his name. The first name of the signature is David Ben-Gurion in Hebrew. After that, it's moving in the stage. 37 people sign on this. 37 signatures. 2 of them are women. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's not good. People told me, for 48, it's a lot. Okay, I'm not accepting this. It's supposed to be more. There were a lot of women in the ceremony, but politicians, there were 2. Golda Meir, very famous, and the second one less famous, but very interested, Rachel Cohen-Kagan. She was the head of the Zionist movement of women, and she was a member of the first Knesset of Israel and the 5th. Okay, she was very interesting. She was the first woman who gave a law, tried to establish the law, that men and women are equal in Israel. This was one of her first projects. So that's it. After he's finishing to read this, Rabbi Fishman sitting here. Ben-Gurion told him, the Rabbi Fishman told him, I want to give my blessing. Ben-Gurion is secular, but he told him, okay, give your blessing. And the rabbi is standing and saying, you know what he's saying? He's saying, Shehichianu. Shehichianu, in Hebrew, it means something like, thank you, God, that we're lucky enough to live to see this moment. When he's saying that, we have the recording. He was crying. He was so excited. After that, somebody's going to the second floor. In the second floor, sitting 30 players with a microphone, recording them. And they played, for the first time, the Tikva as a national anthem. Before that, it was just a song. They played it a lot. A lot of people knew the song. But this is the first time where people stood and sang the Tikva for the first time as a national anthem of a newborn country. So that's it. This is the story of this place. Any questions?
Can I ask one question?
Yes, of course.
Why did Australia say yes for Israel to become a nation?
This is a good question, but I'm telling people, when you look at the political situation at that time, okay, there is a lot of weird countries that voted yes. Like, the same I can ask you, okay, South Africa voted yes.
What was the question?
She asked why Australia voted yes for Israel, okay? So you see Brazil, Peru, Venezuela, Cuba voted against. Okay, Nicaragua voted yes. Okay, this was a lot of political interest and a lot of people listened to what America, to what Truman told them to vote. Some people listened to Stalin. Lucky for Israel, Stalin hoped that this would be a communist state, so he started to pressure his allies. Okay, start vote yes. There is another communist state in the world. So this is it. Israel and Australia, this example, particular example, have a very good relationship. Okay, we have a lot of cooperation. Canada, Australia, the US is our closest friend. Greece is close friends. India, okay, Jordan. Not like the people. But the governments with Jordan is very good cooperation. A lot of cooperation with a lot of countries. Czech Republic. Okay, but things have changed since then. It's a lot of politics, and like all politics, it's a big mess. Any more questions? Okay, so now I'm going to let you listen to the recording. For this reason, we gather here with a member of the Zionist movement. This is real pictures from the Zion. The end of the British Empire in Israel. Based on our natural historical right. And based on the United Nations decision, we are declaring the Jewish state in the land of Israel. Her name will be the state of Israel. Just choose the name. This is real pictures of the ceremony of this room. In our security, God, we're signing with our own handwriting our testimony of this declaration. This temporary committee in the motherland, city of Tel Aviv, this day, Friday, 14 May 1948. Rabbi Fishman, please, listen to his voice. He's crying. Thank you, God. Now somebody's going to the second floor, and they hear it for the first time. This is the first time Israel national anthem. It's a national anthem. Listen to David Ben-Gurion. State of Israel was born. This meeting is over. That's it. And our meeting is over here in this